Welcome to Veterans Nation. My name is Mike Dowling, along with Miss Kelly Smith and Mr. Rydell Danzy.
Yeah, we're veterans, and we are here to inform you.
That's
what
right.
we do.
We've also got Mr. Ryan Stirs back there, our audio engineer, and Rick Seaman, our co-producer.
11 Bang Bang.
11 Bravo, yeah, all right.
And speaking of 11 Bravo, this segment of Veterans Nation is dedicated to the 3rd Infantry Division.
Whoa.
There it is.
Let's bring out the armor.
3rd ID, yeah. That's a great unit. 3rd ID, major action, World War I, World War II, Korea, Iraq, Afghanistan. Yeah.
A lot of history.
They've been around.
Yeah.
They've been around.
Yeah. Well,
Did you ever work with them?
No,
Serve with them?
No, they weren't in Vietnam.
What about you, Rydell?
yeah, I was a 2-1 attack helicopter battalion with 3rd ID. It was my first unit that I got set up with.
Oh, wow.
Get out of
Rocket
here.
of Marne.
Yeah.
So this episode's dedication has a little personal touch to it.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Nice.
Well, as you guys know, football season's over with, but I bet the Baltimore Ravens are still out there having some fun.
Oh, you know that, yeah.
At least their front offices.
Waka waka. All right, this is from the Baltimore Sun, titled "Ravens Fame via Shame." Yvonne Wenger of the Sun writes, "The Baltimore office of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is the slowest in the country in processing disability claims for servicemen and servicewomen, averaging about a year and makes more mistakes than any other office. The failures locally are a symptom of the national breakdown. Across the country, more than 900,000 veterans wait an average of 9 months for the agency to determine whether they qualify for disability benefits, according to the VA."
Who the heck do they have working there? What, do they employ Oompa Loompas on staff or something? I mean,
Maybe you need the Baltimore Ravens to start working.
Whoa.
Get it done.
well, they're cutting players left and right, so there goes a job for them. But
Yeah.
that's awful. I feel terrible for the veterans that have to deal with that process
Yeah.
in Baltimore, you know?
That is bad. That is bad.
Well, veterans, something you should be aware of if you're not already is that all across the country we have state and local departments of Veterans Affairs who always have a lot to offer that vets usually aren't aware of.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well,
I know here in Los Angeles, well, I mean, the CalVet is a good state vet organization. They do a lot. But here in LA, we've got what I think is a really great LA County Veterans Administration. It's called Veterans and Military Affairs.
Yeah, which oversees the entire county's veteran community and all the programs that are that help.
And you know, we did a radio show with them a number of years back, and what I found was really cool was it was their board meeting. So they had all their board of directors there, and they do their thing. And at the end of the board meeting, they had like an open mic where veterans could come in and one at a time go up and address the board and ask questions, anything they wanted, benefits, blah, blah, blah. And these guys gave them good answers. So it was.
And they still do that today?
Still do that today.
Right, they do.
Yeah.
I've actually been to a couple of those meetings.
Yeah, so local, county, state, veterans, not organizations, but administrations. Check them out, guys.
People aren't even aware that exists.
No.
yeah,
No.
definitely.
Yeah.
But we're not
biggest
we're not the only major city that has that,
No,
right? I mean,
no.
there's
There
veteran
should be one in
commissions.
each major city, I would think.
They're all the county, yeah. I mean, not all of them are as big as what we have here in LA, but I know there's a little one up in Sonoma County. They do a lot of good stuff. It's just like 3 or 4 people up there, but they do good stuff, you know.
I think it's the awareness issue of it, as being a veteran, especially when you first get out. You don't really know any of that information out there. I didn't know for a long while, and even I joined American Legion, and I'm still finding out stuff now today. I'm like, really? I qualify for that? Let's go.
Well, I mean, you have the Legion, you have the VFW, and you have
Yeah.
all these great VSOs, but I think there needs to be some kind of organizational chart
That is just like
that's
this,
handed
this
to
is the
you,
information that
right?
you need.
Not just in
Right.
general, but also specific to the region that you're going to be living in,
Yeah.
because there's different veterans organizations in different areas of the country, and some of them do really, really great, do great work. So,
Well, on that note, I think it's time to take a break.
Let's take a break.
So just sit back, relax, and we'll be back.
We talk about athletes as warriors and heroes, but there are American men and women who exemplify those characteristics every day. They're our military, and they make the lives we lead possible.
Get up here, protect this vehicle.
I'm Staff Sergeant David C. Ferris. That was me in that gun truck. That was the real thing. I served in Iraq and Afghanistan with a lot of pride. My story is about service to country, love for my beautiful daughters, tough times after coming home from Afghanistan with a serious illness, and how, when I hit absolute rock bottom, feeling like me and my girls were going to be on the streets, homeless, I reached out in sheer desperation to the VFW Foundation for help.
Staff Sergeant Ferris returned home from the hospital to a mountain of bills, an eviction notice, and no job. But the VFW Foundation was there with emergency funds to get him back on his feet. He is just one of the more than 1.5 million active duty soldiers and veterans helped this year, offering financial assistance for military families. The VFW Foundation is there to support those who deserve it most. But their services depend solely on donations, so your help is needed today.
The VFW did more for me than a favor. They helped me get my life back on track and keep me and my girls together. Thank you, VFW Foundation.
all right, and we're back with exclusive media for America's military veterans. And Kelly, you seem to be chomping at the bit.
All right, well, I am, and that's because back in segment 17, we reported on a congressional hearing that was about the inadequate functionality of the VA's LTS system. The LTS system is the long-term solutions system, and that's supposed to provide online information for veterans to track information on their educational benefits. However, this is a press release from the VA, which says, the Defense and Veterans Affairs Departments have released improvements to the functionality of eBenefits, a joint self-service web portal that provides registered users with secure online information and access to benefits. eBenefits 4.3 allows for easy navigation of the online disability compensation claim submission process using interview-style questions and drop-down menus similar to tax preparation software, instead of a traditional fill-in-the-blank form. This system also pre-populates the application with the information from a veteran's record in the VA's secure database. Veterans also can view processing times for each phase of their claim. Other site improvements include a tool to help in determining if a veteran is eligible for vocational rehabilitation and employment benefits, a calculator for military reservists to determine retirement benefits, and a search function that identifies a claimant's appointed veteran service representative, with links to Google Maps indicating the location of their nearest representative's office. Okay, well, here comes the interesting part. Service members and veterans also can access records such as post-9/11 GI Bill enrollment status. Okay, so this e-benefit sounds great, but then why are we having hearings on how the LTS is giving student veterans such a hard time with it?
Is it apples and oranges?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it is apples and oranges, or is it like the old Aretha Franklin album that was titled Who's Zooming Who?
You know what I think? I think we need Dave Colmer for this.
The book!
The book.
The book.
Let's get Dave Comer on a hotline.
Love Dave.
We do love Dave.
We'll sort this out.
Thank you, Dave.
LTS is LTS. E-benefits is e-benefits. But if LTS is, failing, why is the VA using e-benefits? Is that the Band-Aid? Or because I've heard a lot of people say you can't get anything about education benefits on e-benefits. It'll tell you maybe two things. So, yeah, let's see what Dave Colmer has to say.
And for those who don't know, Dave Colmer is
The book.
The book.
And why do we call him that? How long has he been doing this for?
22 years as a service officer.
For the VA.
No, wait. He worked at the VA for 22 years.
Okay.
And he's been a service officer for, I don't know, 15, something like that.
Helping veterans with
Yeah.
all their claims.
And Mike, for you, 20 years U.S. Marines.
Hoorah.
Yeah.
I knew there was something about him that I
All right.
liked.
Ryan, let's dial him up.
Yep. You're on.
Dave, hi, it's Rick.
Hi, Rick.
I'm here with Mike Dowling, Kelly Smith, and Rydell Danzy. And we're calling you because we'd like you to sort something out for us. You know the VA's system called LTS, Long-Term Solutions.
Right.
Now, there's just been a big congressional hearing about that with witnesses from student veterans and the Academic Association saying that system it has poor functionality.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Then I get a press release from the VA that Kelly just read, and it's talking about the VA's e-benefits
Right.
system.
Right.
Now, for clarification, LTS and e-benefits, that's apples and oranges?
Yeah, they're totally different because one, the term long-term solution, I don't think anybody would opt for a program that says long-term solution. I don't want a long-term to solve my problem. Okay, I want expeditious handling and time element. And the e-benefits, it's a maze of computerized stuff that you need to go. You almost need to be a computer techie to get through the computer maze to determine the status of your educational benefits application and claim.
Okay. Now, is e-benefits that bad as far as other stuff that they mentioned it does, like, disability claims and, what else did it mention?
Well, yeah, it's the same for disability claims. Yeah, it's all the same. Yeah. If we can attack from a different direction,
Okay.
I would like to take a minute to do that.
Go right ahead.
But it's a matter of getting the word out to the troops. That's the problem. The whole issue is to lock down as tight as humanly possible the original application to the VA.
Okay.
Be it educational, which means one, a 1990 application tells the Veterans Administration, I'm intending to go to school. Number two, the 1999 is the actual enrollment certification made out and signed by the school that gets sent to the Department of Veterans Affairs, telling them the number of units, the starting date, and the ending date. And if you don't have any other claim in with the VA, your discharge papers, DD 214, are 3 documents that is bulletproof as you can be with the Department of Veterans Affairs.
Okay. Now, why do you, the students and these academic associations, colleges that are complaining at these hearings about the LTS system, obviously that's a technical issue that we're dealing with here. I mean, somebody said on one of our recent shows that it sounded like the government bought a lemon with this LTS system,
Yeah.
And then with e-benefits, that doesn't seem like it's a very good Band-Aid for the lemon.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you've got a lemon, the e-benefits are not going to help. And the difficulty in navigating the e-benefits, if you can get through it, will only tell you, or they won't have anything good to say, anything positive to say. And they may give you an anticipated date by which you should receive payment if they have enough information, if you can get through it.
Right.
But again, it's kind of like the guy that doesn't really do his job well, and he complains most because the system isn't working. For example, the guy that says after he finds out the VA sent him critical information to his old address. And you say, well, what happened here? He says, well, I told my wife to send them the new address. Okay? Counterfeit. If you want it done right, what do? Okay? So you got to cross all your T's and dot all your I's, and again, make it bulletproof. Send the VA everything they possibly need. And then they can't dodge the bullet. If you make the necessary preparation, the application, that application says, I want to go to school. The enrollment certification says, I'm starting on date A and I'm ending on date B, and this is the amount of units I'm taking. It's bulletproof.
Yeah. Well, now I got Mike Dowling sitting here with me. Now,
yeah. Fire away, Mike.
Hey, it's good to hear from you.
Now, Mike said, OIF Marine. And he applied for GI Bill.
The post 9/11 GI Bill.
Post 9/11 GI Bill.
Right.
So let's ask Mike. Mike, did you encounter this LTS system?
I didn't. I had a counselor, a veteran service rep at the educational institute that I'm attending.
Okay.
Who kind of walked me through it
So
manually.
there was a service rep at the school.
Yes.
Was this the vet rep on campus guy?
Yes, it was.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, and thankfully the school that I'm at also has a student veteran organization.
Very good.
Of students that have gone through the same process that I could reach out to as well. So,
right.
But I will say, surprisingly, that the phone number that you can call, where you can actually speak to a rep to talk about the post 9/11 GI Bill
At the VA.
Was actually surprisingly really helpful to me.
Yeah.
I've used it several times. The only problem is sometimes the wait to talk to a rep on the phone can be a lot longer than you might like it to be. But when you get through, they're actually really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Good.
So what do we have here?
Well, the student veteran organization that Mike mentioned is a good thing because they're advocates for veterans and they help veterans during their normal education and post-secondary education in every way they can, including financial. So, and there's one on every campus in the country, a student veterans organization. So if there's one at the college, it would be possibly a good idea to talk with them with regard to your benefits.
Yeah, and I think it's really smart for a veteran to go through the process with the veteran rep on campus, or at least at minimum another veteran student that has gone through the process, because oftentimes questions come up when you're going through the process, and unless you're sitting with someone right there, you might not get that information right away, or you might not get it at all.
Right.
So
it sounds like the bottom line is we have to acknowledge that, the VA did buy a lemon of sorts. It may never go away. We don't know. I mean, they spent a lot of money on this system. But so if the way I read it is, like Mike said, vets helping vets, vets using representatives from the school, vets using service officers, and doing all of those steps that will alleviate for the shortcomings of a system that the VA seems to have.
Exactly. If the vet doesn't miss any steps and have any shortcomings, the VA has enough to cover the vet. So let's make sure the vet is clean as he can be when he goes in, so that he is not responsible, even in part, of any delay in receipt of benefits.
Right. So, thank you, Dave.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Anytime, all the time.
All right, Dave. You take care, buddy.
Hey, you guys take care, and anytime. And
All
lots
right.
of luck to everybody.
thanks so much.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, veterans, we're going to close out with a word from Joe the Vet.
Joe the Vet here. Hello. When the National Football League deems certain play rules to be unsafe, they change the rules, and they do it in a most timely manner. For instance, when a new football was introduced, its synthetic strings were causing cuts on players' hands. So they went back to the old cloth strings immediately. Why is it then that Congress and the VA have taken over 20 years to get Agent Orange sorted out, are now taking another 20 years to get Gulf War illness sorted out, and we have 900,000 claims backlogged. Is it because military players don't make a lot of big money like National Football League players do? Or perhaps it's inconsistency in management. For example, the NFL has had just 4 commissioners in the last 53 years. But since 1992, the VA has had 7 secretaries. So, third grade math here. NFL, 4 commissioners in 50 years. That's an average of 12 and a half years per leader. Since 92, 7 VA secretaries in 25 years. That's 3.6 years per leader. Winner by a huge margin? The NFL. Oh, and one more thing on football. For you football wives, when your hubby is watching the game and you're saying, come on, honey, come with me to the store, and he says, oh, but there's only 5 minutes left of the game. You have to understand, 5 minutes of game time on that clock is equal to over 15 minutes in real time. Don't push it. Don't be in a hurry. It's going to take a while. Joe the Vet, out.